So go a little something like this. That AVIOT.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is your gracious co-host, Jay Stokes. Jay, you just gonna
Jay Random.
Interrupting?
Jay Random in the house. Nah, I'm good. What's up?
God.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So it's your gracious co-host, Jay Stokes and Jay Random up in the house. Today, this is the AVIOT podcast, a.k.a. Atypical Voices in Our Time. We are the official podcast of Chemistry Productions. That's K3MISTRY, a media education company that focuses on teaching basically young adults and teenagers about media literacy or how to interpret media. And we could definitely cast our net wide and reach others as well. So how are you doing today, Jay Random, except for interrupting me?
Man, I'm doing good on this lovely Wednesday night. Hey, I'm doing good, man. Work was good. Family's good. Family's healthy. So I'm good. You know what I'm saying, Jay Stokes? Just ready to get into this show. I know this show is going to be very impactful because of things that happened yesterday, last week, today. So, I'm really eager to get into the show.
Yeah, so today's show is entitled Heavy Hitters, and we're going to be talking about some very heavy topics. Not too many heavy topics, but some big ones that have been in news media as of late. So without further ado, let's get started into this. I will start with Mr. Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh is a candidate to be on the Supreme Court. He is a Republican, a conservative guy, and a lot of people are unhappy about that, mainly because he has some controversial views towards things, especially the Roe versus Wade decision. He wants to overturn that, allegedly, and that is going to do away with abortion in America. First off, Jay Random, what are your thoughts about that?
About him overturning Roe versus Wade?
Versus Wade. What are you talking about? Yeah, just him being appointed in general, being the controversial figure that he is.
Well, this is my problem. And you and I, we already spoke about this prior, so I'm going to bring it to light now. My only problem with everything that's going on with this particular case is that I'm wondering to myself, where is the Me Too movement? Why are they so silent?
Okay.
I don't really hear them.
Whoa. Hold up. 1 second.
What's up?
We're gonna get into that. See, Jay about to fly off the handle. Okay, we're gonna get into that.
Fly off the handle.
I just want to know first, what do you think about Brett Kavanaugh as a candidate to begin with, and his alleged thoughts on Roe versus Wade and how he might overturn it if he became a Supreme Court justice judge? Like, what are your thoughts on that first? Then we'll get to the next thing.
All right. Okay. So my thoughts on that is that I believe that they should find someone else, because when it's all said and done, he will overturn it. I mean, if he's been talking about it, or if the media's been talking about it, he will overturn it. And I think they should just find someone else. But I think also the Republicans definitely want him to be nominated, because he also believes that a sitting president should not be impeached or prosecuted. So I think it's kind of bigger than Roe versus Wade right about now, because we already know what's going on with our president. So I think our president doesn't really care about the Roe versus Wade. He cares more about someone that's going to side with him. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I definitely understand. Okay. So now that we got that out the way, we'll get to the next thing. So Brett Kavanaugh has had accusers that have been coming forward as of late, saying that he sexually assaulted them and that to rape one woman when he was in high school. So I'm stumbling over my words. Officially, what one woman says is, what one woman is accusing him of is being sexually aggressive at an alcohol-fueled party that he was in high school. That's what one woman is saying. Another woman is saying that she was drugged and gang raped, and that Kavanaugh was present when this happened to her. So you have several women coming out saying that he's been involved in this devious behavior and that he's been doing these things. And my thought on it was, it's interesting that these women are coming out at this time to speak on these circumstances. I spoke with a friend of mine regarding this, and she was saying that, and my friend is a woman, and she was saying that never, because this might have been a good time for these people to come out and start accusing him of sexual harassment or sexual assault when he was younger, so that people understand Kavanaugh is not a great guy, and this might affect his ruling to become a Supreme Court judge. So, Jay Random, now, go ahead, go in.
Well, I already went in, so it's kind of hard to repeat what I said.
Go ahead, but, me too. You're starting with me too. You're starting with me too.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No. My only problem is there's two things. Was really one. Where's the Me Too movement? I just feel like they pick and choose. And you and I, we had a discussion on our show a few weeks ago about that. They pick and choose, I believe, on when to and when not to disrupt things and go after certain people. Now, granted, if I'm wrong, then I apologize, but I haven't heard the Me Too movement, and I watch the news a lot, and I also read a lot, and I do not recall seeing anything really, of the news talking about the Me Too movement. So that's my biggest gripe, because really, I have a problem with, after all these allegations, if he still gets elected, because I thought that's all I thought that's all you needed was a allegation and your career is over. I mean, look at Aziz Ansari. I still think about him because he did not deserve to be in the Me Too movement. He just had a date with a female. The sex was bad. It didn't work out. And instead of those two, or instead of them or her letting bygones be bygones, she threw him in with the Me Too movement, and now his career is over. So, but once again, I say all that to say, I thought allegation is enough to shut anything down, but it seemed like no one's paying attention to this. And I was watching the news before we actually came on. I was watching Vice News, and they were saying that this case right here reminds them of the Anita Hill case, as far as with Clarence Thomas. Remember that one?
Yeah, I actually wanted to mention that one a little bit later, but since
okay, so we can definitely mention that later.
Pocket that?
Yeah, pocket that. Yeah. So basically,
we'll go ahead.
No, go.
I'm listening. What I was going to say was, in terms of you're saying, the delay is definitely horrible. We're in different areas, guys. Everybody out there, guys and gals, we're in two different states doing the show. So I was going to say that I was going to ask you, what is it about the Me Too movement? How do you think they should address it, or what voices do you think should be addressing this? Because you said you're asking, where's the Me Too movement at? How would you want them to make their presence known in this case? Like, what do you think they could be doing, or what do you think women that are very instrumental in that Me Too movement could be doing?
Do what they do to everyone else when they want them out. They start tweeting about it. They talk about it every chance they get. No one, it's so silent. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like, seriously, like, think about it. Think about the Me Too movement when they went at R. Kelly. They shut R. Kelly down. They tweeted about it. They talked about it. All of a sudden now radio shows stop playing his music. I mean, if they want you gone, they know how. Come on, social media, they know how to shut stuff down. I just don't believe that they're really doing anything, because they pick and choose. And I feel like if they really want to, I think this right here could put them on the forefront. If they can stop the elected Supreme Court judge for being elected, then that movement will be untouchable from forever. When you agree? but they're not doing that. So it makes me wonder.
So why do you think
yeah.
why do you think that they aren't going at Kavanaugh? Why do you think they're choosing not to go at him?
I think because, for all I know, since this came out so blindsided, that they don't have time to vet her. So they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket, because they can vet her and rush. We all know how bad it looks when you get egg in your face. So I'm assuming they didn't have enough time to vet her. So since they didn't have enough time to vet her, they're going to just let this go. Because think about it. When the Me Too movement, when they come at you, they have receipts. They have cases on top of cases. They do their research. They do their due diligence, because they also know that for all the good work that they're doing, it only take one time to represent someone that's falsely accusing someone of an act that they didn't commit, and then we all know it's what have you done for me lately? Meaning people were just like, see, I told you, and it's just like a dirty cop. Or just like a cop. If you ever think about it, like a cop that gets busted and they find out that he's a dirty cop, all of his convictions get overturned. So probably 9 out of 10 of those busts were legit. But if he cheated on one of them, all of them get overturned, because now you don't know which case he didn't fudge the evidence. So that's the same thing I think with Me Too. I think they're looking at it like, I'm thinking the reason why they probably haven't said anything, either A, because they don't have time to vet her, or B, he's just too powerful and they don't think they could win. And once again, because it only takes them to lose, too, one good time, and it's over for them. So they pick and choose who to go after, I believe.
Okay. Now, among the stories for Brett Kavanaugh, one woman even said that he exposed himself to her while they were in college. And do you, when you have accusations like this, do you feel like they're strong enough to hold weight in the conversation? Because we're looking at two things here. We're looking at, he didn't touch her, he just exposed himself to her. So he showed her his genitals. And this also happened when he was in college, which is a long time ago. Not saying that it's right, but I'm saying, do you think that's strong? Like, if people are having stories like that, do you think that's strong enough to hold against them? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes,
okay.
I believe
Explain
so.
why. Explain why.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, no problem. I believe so because you have to be a sick individual to pull your penis out in front of anybody. If you know what I'm saying, think about it. You only pull your penis out when you're about to pee or you're about to have sex. I think you're rude and a weird, sadistic person just to be whipping out your penis. Because that is uncomfortable. That's just like turning on porn in a crowded room. Like, dude, what is that about? You're not wrapped too tight. Like, no one. I personally believe anyone with the right mind is not pulling out their penis just willy nilly. But I also say, I've been in college just like you have, and I've seen dumb stuff like that happen. But I don't know. I just feel like him doing that. I don't know if that should prevent him from being the Supreme Court judge, but we should question him. Question him as far as, is this the only time he's done it? Can we find any other records? Like, all you need to do is find. Because don't forget, also, I look at it like this. When you're in college, you do stupid stuff. It's kind of hard to also fault somebody for pulling out their penis and branding them a sicko for the rest of their life. Because we all know, young and dumb.
I must say, like, that is definitely crossing a line. And
yes, people
flash in college. I've been flashed by a woman in college. So yeah.
He too.
So that's why I look at this situation a little interesting because I went to a club. I remember I went to a club and a woman was there and I was like, hey, what's going on? And I was looking out for my friend at the time because I was being a wingman for him. He was trying to look for a date. And the woman just showed me her breast. And I'm like, okay. So that's why I'm a little hung up on this in terms of holding that against them, because I'm like, I think in this case it would be a double standard, because we look at guys that do that as sexual deviants and predators, but we look at women that do that as they're being sexually liberated, or they're just having fun. Girls will have fun, just like they say boys will be boys. They also say girls will have fun. So that's why with that situation, I don't know if that's strong enough to hold against him, especially since it happened in college and he's in his 50s right now. But I will say that the other case where he allegedly forced himself onto a woman and tried to cover her mouth, now that's something that's a different ball game. That's ball game. Something.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So with this whole situation, it's very muddied, but I led with, it's interesting that this is coming out now, and there was a hashtag on Twitter talking about like why I didn't say anything, and it was a lot of women that were doing this hashtag saying why they didn't say anything when they were sexually harassed or sexually assaulted the first time, and they were given their reasons. In this circumstance, I'm looking at it like the fact that women didn't say anything regarding his behavior when he was already in a position of power, that kind of came back to bite everybody in the behind, because now he's in the running to become a Supreme Court justice because no one said anything beforehand. Do you get what I mean? Do you get what I mean by that?
Yes, I do. I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you, because I feel like now it's not the fact it's too late, but I feel like, you know what their problem is, I think they, whoever, the actual women that's accusing them, they probably felt that, A, the Me Too movement probably would back them up, and B, there's no way in the world they're going to nominate him now. There's no way he could win with all these allegations. In reality, the Republicans don't care. They really don't care. And
yeah, I mean, you look at our president. Look at our president. He's been accused of rape. He's been accused of sexual assault, and he still won the presidency, right?
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, they don't care. So time will tell what's going to happen. But I believe that all this came out too late, number one, and also they're so gun-ho and stubborn, they're going to actually nominate him just because. Because in their mind, they're saying, oh, it's just a ploy. Like, they're not even thinking. They're not thinking past the Democrats is doing this. The Democrat is doing this. And it's like, we got to stop with all this partisan stuff. We're talking about this is going to be funny to say this. But we sound like, but we're trying to set a precedent. Like, this is United States. And these judges that we're electing, they're at the highest for integrity and justice. But then you turn around like, well, dang, well, not him. No, not him. So it's like, it's like we tend to forget. Every move, for every action, there's a reaction that we make with this president and his picks, his cabinet. It seemed like every time his hand is in stirring up the pot, something like, it's never good. It's never good. I mean, think about the people who came and left so far in his administration. I just feel like no matter what happened, they did it too late. There really shouldn't be no set time, but I'm questioning why now, because he's a lawyer, and and correct me if I'm wrong, he's pretty high up now anyway. So I don't know if they lost touch with him. That's another thing. That's Jay Stokes. Think about this too. That's another thing. They probably lost touch with him, meaning, they're not going to keep track of people who rape him. So they probably lost track with him. Lost touch as far as what is he doing. And then they turn the news and look, and they're like, wait, him? No, not, so that could be another reason why they come in, that they're showing up late now. Because the FBI is saying, we vetted everyone. We vetted him. Well, you can't, the man ain't going to tell you, oh, I got 3 incidents. He ain't gonna say that. He's 50. He probably forgot about those 3 incidents.
Exactly, and that leads into another topic for discussion, because we really have to empower our youth, both girls and boys, to speak up and to understand that if they're sexually assaulted or sexually harassed, it's not their fault, and they really have to address these situations ahead of time. They have to talk about it right away. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but no matter who it is, if it's a family member, we have to discuss these things, because then we end up in situations like this where women are coming out, and it just seems, from the outside looking in, it just seems odd. I'm not one to jump on a bandwagon and be like, yeah, these women are making these accusations, so obviously they're right. No, I'm looking like, wow, what convenient timing. You know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow, this is an interesting time where they're coming out and talking about this now. It just happens to be when they're deliberating and he might get the nomination, like now. You know? And like you said before, he's in the spotlight, so obviously that could have triggered something in their minds. Also, I look at what President Trump said, and he was like, this happened over 2 decades ago. Like, why are you talking about this now? You know what I mean? So it's like, it coming out later will have more people against you than coming out sooner, I believe. Because if you come out sooner, even if you get shot down, you have a track record. So it's like, people see you said this beforehand. So say the women that are accusing him of these things now, they came out back when it happened and they're accusing him of that, right? Now it's documented. Mm-hmm. So if they come back out now and they start making these same accusations, they have that document. So guess what? This helps their case. And guess what? He definitely can't get the nomination. Does it make sense?
I agree, but to a point. First of all, I just want to give a shout out to everybody who's listening. I just want to give about the number. I want people to chime in on this. You know, if you're listening, the number to call is 646-668-8398. Once again, 646-668-8398. Well, I rest on the laurels of the fact that I really believe that they just lost track of him.
Okay.
And now that he's about to be nominated, they probably said, "Oh, wait, I know him. He is not fit or worthy to be a Supreme Judge." I really believe, I really believe this is only okay. I really believe this is the only way I can see that they're coming out so left field and so random. Like, hey, wait a minute, I'm about to get accusations, huh? Because I believe they lost track. And I'm not a woman. I've never been sexually assaulted or raped, but I know I'm not looking for the person that did something to me if I'm trying to forget about it. And it's not until I see this person on TV. Yeah. And I think don't forget, once you see him on TV, like, everyone's seen it. And I was like, oh, I remember him. Then bad memories come back, and so I think first of all, I don't listen to anything that our president says because he is so narcissistic and he doesn't really care about anything but himself. He's a con man, and the list goes on. So anytime he comes out of his mouth, it's like, I'm not listening to you because everything benefits him. Just like he said he talking. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, all I was going to say was because now I think one of the accusers now that came out against Kavanaugh, their lawyer is Stormy Daniels' lawyer. So now I'm like, oh gosh, we can't find another lawyer. But with the same token, but then we hear our president talking about, I don't trust this. Why are they using the same lawyer? It's like, dude, come on. No, I don't want to hear it. So what are you going to say?
I was going to say, this space that we're speaking now, obviously we definitely would like another caller, but we're actually having a conversation here, and you're definitely opening my mind to different things because I try to be as objective as I can with these topics. And I never want to victim blame. I just always say,
exactly.
Yeah, I always say that we have to take precaution and we have to think things all the way through. We can't just jump on a bandwagon right away and just say, just because someone makes an accusation, that automatically we have to believe what they're talking about. That's very dangerous, and that becomes a mob mentality, and that can harm people's reputations, just like Aziz Ansari. I feel like with that, the Me Too movement and women that were against sexual assault, they just jumped on the bandwagon and got an innocent guy in trouble and ruined his career just because they jumped on a bandwagon and they changed the laws regarding dating. They changed the laws regarding dating. They made it so that a woman doesn't have to say no in order for a man to understand what they're talking about, or a man to pick up on their body language or their signs. Not everybody's that bright, unfortunately. So I feel that the Me Too movement, in an effort to gain power for women, they're also taking away power from women. And this is what I mean by that. You're pretty much saying that all these men are harming you and you're not going to stand for this anymore. So you just told me that you felt that these men were in a higher position than you were, and you felt highly of these men, and you felt that they were these big bad wolves that you needed to bring down. And once you bring them down, you feel great about yourself. There should be a part in here which talks about education and empowerment. We should empower women to speak on these experiences that are harming them. We should empower both men and women to understand social cues, to understand boundaries. We should teach children specifically about what is and is not acceptable in dating. And we need to understand there's a cultural aspect to this as well. So what many people in a African American culture do, or what they feel is acceptable in dating, might not be the same thing that white people or Italian people or Jewish people or Asian people do when they consider dating. So we have to educate across the board. We can't just keep making people pariahs and throwing them into the wind without there being a moral to the story or a learning lesson. Because guess what? Another incident is going to happen again and again and again and again. With that, I want to segue into the Bill Cosby case. And the reason why I want to segue into this because connecting the dots, we have a man who's been accused of sexually assaulting women, over 60 women, and everybody jumped onto the bandwagon with that. And now everybody's happy because Bill Cosby has been convicted of the crime, and he's been sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. But my thing is, what is the moral of the story? What do we learn from this situation? What do we gain from this situation? So before I go into that spiel, Jay Random, I want to know what your thoughts are on the Cosby case and his ultimate conviction.
Well, my thought on the Cosby case is you do the crime, you do the time. And you're right. I question all 60, but I don't. But I know I do believe he is guilty. I believe he's guilty. I don't know. Well, okay. We know one lie, and that's Janice Dickinson. You know, she was caught out with her lie. But all the other ones, I don't know. But you know that saying, where the smoke is fire. With that being said, he also used to joke about it in his stand-up. You know, not in the sense of, you know, he's raping them, but he used to bring up Quaaludes and how he dropped them, you know, give it to the females. I can't remember the whole joke for joke, but I remember hearing that. But back then it was like, it's just a joke, right? Okay, we're gonna keep it moving, not knowing that it was actually true. Him being arrested, they could have really just kept him on house arrest. I mean, he's 81, you know, and that's my only problem. He's 81, and they didn't even like put him like in a club fed. They put him like in a real prison. So, but he put him in a real prison. And what's that called when you by yourself? jump in by any time.
Solitary confinement. Solitary confinement.
Yes.
Confinement.
Solitary confinement. Yes. So he's 81. The man does not need to be alone, you know. But I guess the judge really wanted to think about what he did. So.
Well, they called him a sexually violent predator, and they said that if they let him go free, they called him a sexually violent predator and said if they let him go free, he would probably violate another woman again. And I'm like, I highly doubt that. But,
highly doubt that too.
I highly doubt that.
Does he move?
Yeah, right. I had to look at the case in general, and Andrea Constand, the woman that actually is the reason why he got convicted. She and him settled out of court over a decade ago for over $3 million. And I was just questioning, how is it that they were able to reopen that case and bring her back in, which led to his ultimate demise, if they already settled out of court?
Yeah, you know why? I agree with you, because they already, think about it, look at it like this. They knew that he admitted to guilt, and that's why she won the civil case, right? So they already knew they had a slam dunk case. So that's why they tried him. That's why I feel like else he probably would have won. But because they tried him and he already lost that case civil, and also within that case he had to talk about, yes, he did, give Quaalude to, I don't know if it was her, but he's done it before. So it's like they already have, so basically it's like they already had the blueprint. This is a slam dunk case. So,
but
said,
may I interject? I got to interject real quick. With the Andrea Constand thing, they did see that the date that she said the incident happened initially between her and Cosby, the date that she reported to the police officers was different from the date she gave while in court. So that was already made her look that made it, it was iffy. It made her story look questionable. That's number one. Number two, in the video where she talked about the event, not saying that he was right for doing this, but she willingly took the pills that he gave her because she said she trusted him. So he didn't coerce her into it. She willingly took it because she said she trusted him. That's number two. Not saying it's right, but that's interesting. Number three, after the incident happened, she continued seeing him. Now, I read her report where she was talking about her take on the event, and she said that she had to be in areas where she still was seeing Cosby over and over again because of the nature of her job. She did bring him a gift, and she said it was for bath salts and it was from a friend, but that situation, it seems a little iffy because now you have her stories conflicting. Her stories were conflicting with each other, and then you have her still visiting the guy, and then you have her saying that she willingly took the pills or the Quaaludes or what have you. So I'm not victim blaming, and I'm not saying I do not believe her that she was sexually assaulted, but it's interesting, don't you think?
Yeah, and granted, I know you, and definitely not I. We're definitely not victim shaming at all. We're just trying to bring light to the fact that it seemed like this case had so many holes in it, and he still was found guilty. That's basically what you're saying, and I second that.
Right.
Because wait, hold on real quick. I just want to give out the number again. For anyone who's nervous, don't be nervous. Just give us a call. The number to call is 646-668-8398. Once again, 646-668-8398. But yeah, back to what you were saying. So I think that's all you're basically saying. There's so many holes from can't get the story right to why are you still hanging out with this guy after he raped you? And three, what was the third one? The third one was basically
she willingly took the pill.
Yeah.
She willingly took the pill.
So it's so it's like, okay, why did he get in trouble? Per se. Like, what was
and
the
then
reason now?
you have the fact that Janice Dickinson lied on him. So it's like, okay, if one person can lie on him, who's to say that another 10 people can't lie on him? And this is the thing. For those of you who think that when you have a huge number of people saying one thing, it must be true, I do believe Bill Cosby did sexually assault people, okay? So don't think I'm saying he's free of all guilt. No, I do believe he did sexually assault some people. That number, no. For those of you who think that a large number of people saying something makes it automatically true, here is a prime example of how that's not the case. Look at the presidential election. You had a large number of people in this country saying that Trump was a good candidate. Even though Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, meaning that she got more votes, you still had a large number of people that were still pulling for Trump, right? So They were saying that he was the better candidate. They were saying that they believed in him. And so far, what has he done as president that has been highly beneficial to the country?
Nothing.
That's just to say that you can have a large number of people saying yes to one thing, but that doesn't necessarily make it true. And one of my biggest pet peeves, especially involving these Me Too cases, is this whole argument about the statute of limitations and how far back in time you can go and talk about things. Because as I can recall, in the Pennsylvania case where you had these hundreds of priests that were molesting all of these children, thousands of children over the course of decades, they're trying to say that the statute of limitations doesn't matter there. And we have Emmett Till, a black boy who was falsely accused of sexually harassing a white woman back in, I think it was the 50s. He was brutally murdered, and this white woman is still alive today, and she has not been prosecuted or thrown in jail. She's the one that lied and said that he sexually harassed her, and guess what? Her brother and I think her comrades ended up killing Emmett Till, and she was an accessory to that crime. Statute of limitations for Emmett Till. I don't see a statute of limitations for these kids that were molested by these priests. So what you're trying to tell me is that these women in this Me Too movement, scratch that, these white women in this Me Too movement they have more rights and they have more of a voice than children and black people or people of color? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You're trying to tell me that you will believe the words of a white woman? Because let's not fake and say that this Me Too movement is for everybody. No. The Me Too movement was started by Tarana Burke for black girls specifically, but they say black and brown girls, but you can all put that in the same category. Black girls specifically, and it was co-opted and turned into a movement that largely benefits white women. All of these people that have been brought down, these high officials, have been brought down at the hands of a white woman saying that they were sexually assaulted, they were raped, right? So I'm saying, and the statute of limitations did not matter with any of these women. They can go back decades. They can go back 20, 30, 40 years in the past, and they can get these guys fired from their jobs. They can get them thrown in prison in the case of Cosby. But you mean to tell me that when it comes to kids in the Catholic Church, the statute of limitations does not apply? You mean to tell me with Emmett Till, who was brutally murdered from a lie, the statute of limitations does not apply? We really have to do some thinking in this country, because it seems to me that all that matters are the words of a white woman. That is not right. That is not right.
Okay. I see what you're saying, and you sound real passionate about what you're saying. And for anyone who's listening, they probably wonder why the heck is Jay Random not saying anything? Because, when Jay Stokes gets passionate, I am not saying anything. And also, I did not want to interrupt because we have a delay. So I didn't want him to stop going in. So that's why I'm quiet. No, you know what? I have a problem with Me Too, so the Me Too movement. So I agree. The sad part is, though, you threw out race. That's not the sad part. But the sad part is you threw out race. But race really does play a lot in it seems like in this Me Too movement when it comes to white women versus black women, and the same action or the same crime can happen, and we tend to see.
I know where you're going. Say it. Go with it. I know where you're going. Go ahead. Get it.
You sure? No,
yeah,
I'm not going anywhere.
Do it.
No,
do it.
No, I'm not going anywhere. The only thing I'm saying is I just find it odd that the same situation can happen. The only thing that's different is the color of your skin, and no one's around. Meaning, where's the Me Too movement at when something happens to the brown and black people? What you thought I was going to say, Jay Stokes? Please jump in. What you thought I was going to say?
You pretty much alluded to it, but now we can go back to the point we were making earlier with Anita Hill and Clarence Thomas.
Gotcha.
Clarence Thomas.
Yes.
Yeah, Clarence Thomas is a Supreme Court judge right now, and a black woman named Anita Hill, him of sexually assaulting her or sexually harassing her, one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And
sexually harassing, you're right, harassing.
Sexually harassing, but he still became Supreme Court judge, right? So this happened way before the Me Too movement. But based off of these statute of limitations things that we're talking about here, like, can't we bring that back up? Or is it because he's a Supreme Court judge now we can't talk about it anymore?
You got a point because when she, meaning Anita Hill, when she was being examined, right? Is that the word I'm looking for? Or being
cross-examined.
Cross-examined. Okay. Oh yeah, no, I think that's it. When she's being cross-examined, they were just grilling her, and you're right. I mean, back in I think it was 26 years ago. I think when it happened. Back then, yeah, you're right. It wasn't a Me Too movement, but I can promise you that so far with the track record that I've seen with the Me Too movement, it only benefits certain people. So I'm not saying that it can't be fixed. I'm not. You Stokes is all about, hey, listen, leave the Me Too movement and start your own damn movement. Yeah, you could do that, but I'm not always about the divide. Not saying you are. So I'm saying you already got a platform. Just let it be more equal rights, because I'm pretty sure a lot is going on that is falling on deaf ears because it's not beneficial to a certain color, complexion, race, whatever you want to call it.
Looky here. You can even go to the R. Kelly thing. R. Kelly, he allegedly he allegedly had sex with a minor who was black, and he also allegedly did some inappropriate things to other black women. This has been accepted, and no one talked about it people have talked about it for all these years, but nobody did anything about it until this Me Too / Time's Up movement came around, and you had a lot of these white media outlets saying, oh, we need to address R. Kelly. So it's only because white media outlets said we need to address it that people started going after R. Kelly. So it shows that nobody is really caring about these black girls and these other girls and women of color. Nobody cares. They only care when it's affecting a white woman. Here's a good example. There's and I'm so upset. I got to pull up this article. You remember the girl Molly Tibbetts who was killed?
Yes.
Remember that? Molly Tibbetts was a white girl, college student that was killed. She was rejecting the advances of this guy, and he decided to kill her because she said she was going to call the cops on him, right? So that's what happened there. And I'm low-key stalling because I'm trying to find the actual article that I'm trying to look up. There's another woman that was Muslim. Got it. There's another woman that was Muslim who was killed the same way. She was stalked by a guy, and she was killed. and her name is come on. Ah, man, I'm definitely doing a terrible job. I should have had this lined up. Her name
Not really.
is Nabra Hassanin. Nabra Hassanin. And
okay.
she is a Muslim. She's a Muslim brown girl, and she was killed in the same manner. She didn't threaten to call the police on her attacker, but she was also attacked, and she was killed as well. But guess which event made the headline of the news? The Molly Tibbetts event. She's a white girl. Her event made news headlines.
Stop.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hold on. No, I'm sorry. The second story you're talking about the Islamic lady, this happened this year?
Yeah, they both happened this year.
Around the same time?
The other woman happened some months earlier.
Earlier. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
When it happened, no one said anything. And Molly Tibbetts.
It wasn't that big of a deal. Deal.
You're right. Hey, listen.
Yeah, what's up?
No. I was gonna say you're right. You're totally right. And it's a sad.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. No. It happened last year. Sorry, happened last year.
And Molly Tibbetts happened this year, right?
Okay, so the woman happened in October of last year. Molly Tibbetts happened this year. Yeah, Molly Tibbetts happened this year. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay because I see where you're going at. You're right. And the sad part is the hard to see, but this is the only problem. I never heard of that story, so I can only go by what you're saying. When you say the media didn't really care too much about it, because I never heard of it.
They didn't really broadcast it. Yeah, they didn't really broadcast it too much.
No, you got a point. So check this out, and this is again something to what you're saying. So I don't know if you remember, but back in, I think it happened in 2016. It was 2 black college students got accused of raping a white girl at Sacred Heart University. You heard about that?
Oh, the football players?
Football players, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, come to find out, well, we already know what happened because now the girl, I think she's about to go to jail for a year. Well, anyway, the sad part about this whole story was when they were accused, the 2 black guys, they got kicked out of school and their life went downhill from there. Kicked out of school. Now you're branded or labeled a rapist. And the girl who lied on them, she lied on them because she was interested in a new guy, a white guy, and didn't want to seem like a hoe. That's the only way I could think of, and to not be too graphic, I could say, or a girl to sleep around. So she lied on him.
A slut.
A slut. Yeah. Knowing that her story, knowing that she actually consented. I'm sorry, consented. It was consensual sex that they both.
Right.
So basically, it was a threesome. I'm trying my hardest to be clean. Last week I'm crazy on the radio. Now I'm trying to be clean.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So,
I didn't even edit the cuss words out. I just left the cuss words in there last week. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah. So I say all this to say it's sad because the girl who did it, now she was she was found guilty of lying, but it's funny how in her lying rant, she also accused the cops of lying, saying, I never told the cops they raped me. The cops was like, what? What are you talking about? Why you think we actually here? But the sad part is that it's one of those, if you're not watching the news, the only thing you hear, and you never hear an update when it comes to us, it seems like you never hear an update, meaning if we're ever found innocent, you'll never hear that part. And
nope, not at all.
It's annoying. It's annoying.
And bringing this full circle, we mentioned these 2 situations with the Molly Tibbetts and this woman at Sacred Heart. to just say that white women, their word is gold. Whatever they say, everybody's going to believe it, and everybody's going to run with it. And they are a very well-protected class in America. They actually benefit the most off of affirmative action, believe it or not. So they're a very protected class. And it's unfortunate that from them being protected, you have other groups that are ignored. Speaking of sluts, though, I wanted to bring up for the last topic, because we only have 8 minutes left, Amber Rose. Amber Rose actually, she actually supported Bill Cosby going to prison. And for those of you who do not know, Amber Rose is the leader of something called the Slut Walk, where she has women dress provocatively and just walk every year. And it's supposed to be something that fights against slut shaming and harassment and violence against women. But I feel like she sends the wrong message there. And for her to call out Bill Cosby, she's not the greatest person to be talking about this subject. And I thought it was very odd, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, Jay Random.
Well, my thoughts on Amber Rose commenting on Bill Cosby is, sad part is she has a right. Yeah, you're right. Is she the right person to comment on with all her skeletons? But then it's like, what skeletons does she really have? Yeah, I know. She may sleep around. But, hey, she may be dating, too. So, I don't know. I'm not in bed with her. So, I don't know what she's doing in that bed. But I say all to say,
it's more
I just feel like she's an opportunist. She's an opportunist.
Yes.
And the slut walk must be right around the corner. Because why else are we listening to her? Was she promoting anything else? Was she promoting that slut walk?
I don't think she was promoting the slut walk, but it was more of I just found it funny that you're commenting on this and you're supposed to be a champion for women's rights, but I feel like you're setting them back by promoting, like, oh yeah, we should embrace being sluts. You know what I mean? It puts me in a weird. It puts me in a weird space, because it's like on one end you have women saying respect me for my intelligence and not just my body, but then you have Amber Rose over here saying, yeah, respect the slut. So I'm like, you have two conflicting messages, and it's like, yeah,
no, you definitely do.
Yeah, it's like you shouldn't ever sexually assault or sexually harass a woman who identifies as a slut per se, but at the same time, it's just like, it just sends conflicting messages. Like, why? Like, you don't want me to look at you sexually, but you call yourself a slut and you're available sexually. You know what I mean? It's confusing.
You're right. It is confusing. Because the word slut does not seem. Last time I checked, it's not a positive word. That's not an empowering word. That's a derogatory, not so flattering word. You know, it's not like I could go to work tomorrow and see my boss say, "Hey, what's up, slut?" No, slut is not a good word. I'll get fired. May get punched in the face. So, that's, you know what, the slut walk is about as dumb as black people who like, I'm empowering us, so I'm gonna say the N word. No, no, you're not empowering anything. You look like, you sound like a moron. Stop it. Just don't use the word. Don't promote it. I feel the same way about the N-word, and I feel the same way about this slut walk. Because, in the same token, how would she react to somebody and say, shut the hell up, you dirty slut? Or what she, you know what I'm saying? Or you don't got to put the dirty slut. Shut up, slut. I think that still should look at him sideways, like, well, you know, you're a slut. We're like, what do you want me to call you? You know, so I think it sends mixed messages, because you're right. A woman should be able to wear what she want to wear. No one is cool. No one. Definitely, a man has a right to tell a woman what to wear, how to wear it, what color to wear, blah 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 bloom. But in the same token, we all know some creeps out here. men and females. So with that being said, I feel like, why are you promoting something that's promoting sex? Because I could be walking down the street minding my business, but if I saw a pretty woman with a thong on and a nice bra, I'm going to stop and look and stare. And then I might just keep on going, ignore. But at the end of the day, it's like, what are you getting out of this? What are you getting out of this? Because the only thing you're doing is, you're inciting hormones that doesn't need to be excited.
And you mentioned a good thing there in terms of the hormones, because I think people forget, especially in this Me Too era, that we're still human. So we're going to have sexual attractions to one another. Obviously, you cannot act on all your impulses, but you can't ask somebody to suppress them either. So it's like, what do you do? Like, we're in an age where it's hard to even ask people out. Like, you look like there used to be a time you could walk down the street and you could ask somebody, hey, you look nice, spark a conversation and ask them out. The end. Now we're in an age where women are afraid to even talk to men on the street because men are very rude. And then we also have a moment where women can send mixed signals. They could be very flirtatious and nice, and then you ask them out, and then they catch an attitude. So it's like we are in a very weird time. And online dating doesn't help either, because you can be harassed even worse online.
Yeah, that is true. Because you know how listen, it's a lot of cyber gangsters out here. A lot of cyber gangsters.
Twitter thugs.
No, I said a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them. They feel more free to talk junk behind that keyboard. So, yeah, I'm not down for the slut walk, but I do believe Amber Rose does have a right to speak her mind. If someone put the mic in her face, I mean, what do you expect her to do? But I just find it. I just think that slut walk must be right around the corner. Because what else do you hear from her? Actually talking.
Good point.
So.
So, with that being said, that wraps up our episode for today, everyone. Heavy hitters. We definitely talked about some heavy topics. We're still upset that nobody wants to call in. That doesn't make any sense.
That's all right, though. That's all right, though. I know. No, I was saying that's all right. Eventually, we'll get something. We might have to move over to a new platform, Jay Random. Sorry, Blog Talk Radio, but we might have to leave you soon. Yes, I agree.
That is that. But anyway, in some chemistry news, Chemistry Productions, K3MISTRY, that is what this podcast is for. This podcast, AVIOT, is the official podcast of Chemistry Productions. AVIOT, that's Atypical Voices in Our Time. Chemistry Productions is a media education company. We have many things going on. We have a YouTube channel we want you to follow. We have a Tumblr page we want you to follow. Just look up Chemistry Productions, K3MISTRY. I have to get back on my writing grind for Medium and for Tit for Tat, our web blog. But I'll definitely get on that. But it was a good episode today, Jay Random. I appreciate you being here, and we'll definitely
same here
one next week. Yes, sir.
Yes. So, everybody, thanks for listening. Once again, give us a call at any time during the show. We definitely want to hear from you guys. Chime in. Be that special guest that we need. Sometimes Jay Stokes and I, we could be stuck in our ways to, okay, I'm going to listen to me, I'm going to listen to you, but we need that third person to come and be like, okay, this is where you guys are right, this is where you guys are wrong. Hey, listen, we don't mind.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, it's been great. Peace out.
Yes. Peace out. See y'all next week, Wednesday. Same time, same channel. Deuces.